Eagles, Packers, Brazil, week one. NFL is here. Is it safe to play?
Looking forward to it. I can't wait. But man, I do not want to go to Brazil. You want to know why? I'm here to tell you why. They already told us not to.
Welcome everybody back to another episode of Bird's Eye View. A little shaky on the production there, but we'll get that together. It wasn't smooth transition. We had to pause for a second. But I'm the player. I am the CEO. I'm the host. I am Moss Money, and I got my guy with me, the GM, the head coach himself, Ernie B. What's up, bro?
I don't know about head coach, but GM for sure.
GM, yeah, GM owner.
Yeah, sure.
I just want to give you everything over top of where I'm at. I'm just
a player's coach.
I'm just a player. I'm just a player on the field. Yeah, man. So week one is here, man. NFL is the start. We were just talking behind the scenes how Florida State sucks. So college football is off and running, but man, Thursday is the first day of the 2024 NFL season. We are here all for it. So in the beginning, you saw a little bit of Darius Slade talking about the do's and don'ts, or why he don't want to go play in Brazil, and how crazy it is in Brazil right now. Let me show you a little snippet of something I saw too. Now it's probably always going in Brazil, but a lot of fires out there going on, wildfires, kind of crazy. Obviously you got to deal with the air pollution. All kinds of stuff going on in Brazil right now that they got to deal with. So that's the scene right now in Brazil. I don't know. I mean, the NFL is going to come out and say that everything's okay, right? Everything's okay. We're good to go. Money spent. But as you know, the players have a different deal, right? And then I'll play the rest of the Darius Slade interview where he was talking about on his podcast about going to Brazil and what the NFL had came in and talked to them about the do's and the don'ts and what to do and what not to do. But at the end of the day, man, this is a show talking about the NFL, talking about the Eagles, and we just want to get a win, right? We just want to get a win, and that's what we're here to talk about, Eagles versus Packers for Friday night game, which I don't think I've ever seen a Friday night game. Maybe, Thanksgiving weekend? Was there Friday night games? Probably, right? Yeah. So that might be it, but a little rare to have that Friday night game. But I mean, man, KC Ravens Thursday night, and then you come back with Packers Eagles, two of the top teams in their respective divisions, ready to go. So with Brazil, Ernie B, we got some more news too, right? All black, right? What you think about the black helmets, the white shirts, black pants? There's Elliott there, kind of give you a look of what that might even look like. AJ Brown right there. What you think about the fit, man? You think you liking the fit with the black helmets and everything?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I mean, they John Ferrari put a statement out today, just basically saying they were trying to they're the designated home team because this is a home game for the Eagles. So one last game at the link, but we have it in Brazil. So I guess Corinthians, the soccer team, that's their main colors, so they wanted to support it. I mean, the vibe that I'm getting is we get one win and we've got a country of fans for a lifetime. So and they're diehards on it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's cool that we're the home team. I mean, obviously there's a lot of outside factors, but I think, it's a crazy world every day. So anything could happen. I just want to get in, get out safe on and off the field.
Yeah. Yeah. So going back to what Slade was talking about, I'll bring this up here. Safe to play in Brazil. What do you think?
I mean, Philadelphia, Brazil, man. I mean, Philadelphia's a rough place too.
I think so the crime rate is through the roof, as they say. But if you guys don't know and you're watching his live, the crime rate in Philly is just the same. So, might look a little bit different, but the numbers and the statistics and all that speak for themselves. And I talked kind of already about. I think the biggest question is not about the player safety so much because I think that'll be fine. Is the air quality, the fatigue? Does that set in with the different wildfires in the air? I saw a
I think
map of all the wildfires.
the
So
field's another thing,
yeah, because it's a soccer field, obviously. So right, a little bit. So so when they do that, when they go overseas, do they re-sod it or do they do something else? Do they rip off the soccer field and put
I
like
mean, I'm sure they have their own way
turf?
of preparing it, but yeah, I mean, the NFLPA wouldn't let them not do something like that.
Right. Yeah. So I agree. Yeah, I was just wondering, just thoughts of how much that's coming up if it's safe to play, per se, because it's already done, right? Money's already
It's no
spent, money's
choice.
already passed.
Yeah,
You
they're
got to
not.
line up and strap up and play.
Yeah, they're going to play. That football game is getting played no matter what.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean,
I know had what 90,000 people in there. You think packed in that thing?
I don't know how much the stadium capacity is, but it's going to be full.
It's
Everybody,
gonna be full. Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
It's
I already saw some fans. I didn't get the video. I already saw some fans out there wilding out, running into the ocean. I
yeah.
forget.
I mean, it should be a good time. I mean, it's as long as everybody does what they're supposed to do, it'd be all right.
Yeah, I agree. All right, we're safe to play. Let's talk about it, man. The keys to winning. I want to talk about the injury report so far that we know so far. Going into this week. For your Philadelphia Eagles, we have Jalen Hunt, Johnny Wilson, and Dallas Goedert have all questionable tags. I think the biggest thing is about Dallas Goedert already hurt. What do you know about his injury, soft tissue injury, something that we need to look out for and worry about going in the future, or just something over from camp that he's just got a little banged up, needs to get better?
So, two things. One, because this is a Friday game, tomorrow at 4, we get their official first injury report of the season.
Okay.
So we'll see if anybody new pops up. Those are the carryovers from training camp. I don't have any updates on Johnny Wilson. He's had a lingering concussion for a while. Jalen Hunt had a little thing. What I heard on Goddard is it's not a big deal, nothing to worry about. Kind of an.
Does that concern you though? Like,
that?
Does that concern you because he's always had an injury type prone history with him?
From what I understand, it's oblique, so we're talking core muscle. So it's probably something that they're opting to let heal over time instead of getting surgery. This could be something that, worst case scenario, we could possibly see like core muscle surgery for the player at some point during the season if it gets too bad. Tight end in general is just a position that they carry 2 into the 53. They've got 2 on the practice squad. You kind of need 3 on game day just to operate. So there's already one of your practice squad call-ups. It's just a little interesting. I definitely think it's something to watch, but from what I understand, he's fine.
So you think he plays?
No, quite without a doubt, he's playing.
He's playing.
Yeah. Effective
playing or just?
Yeah, he says he's fine. So I mean,
okay.
We'll see what he Now they're because we are seeing a ramp up in practice time and the amount of reps we have this offseason, you have to understand that this team isn't just going to flip the switch and go from having a soft training camp to just an intense training camp. Load management is in effect 100%. So that's going to be for everybody from Barkley to Goddard, Lane Johnson, Darius Slay, Brandon Graham. We're going to see a lot of veteran days off, a lot of extended time off, soft tissue stuff, just to kind of keep guys fresh.
Now, I don't think Johnny. What do you think Wilson was? Was he's a 5th receiver? I forget what that.
Yeah. I mean, he's a wide receiver 5. Yeah, but I mean, Covey is ahead of him in my opinion in the rotation.
Yeah, Covey's ahead of him.
He's had a lingering concussion for a while since camp, so something to watch. Also, could just kind of be a thing that they're letting linger because they maybe want to play a little roster tango. But not trying to say that he's not hurt, but we'll just see.
I think the Jalen Hunt thing kind of annoys me a little bit. Not annoy me, but I think that's something to worry about. You already know my feelings about Nolan Smith. I've already been on here saying that Jalen Hunt, I think, in my opinion, is probably the 3rd best pass rusher, natural pass rusher on this team. So we'll see what that says, kind of looks like. I don't like that he's hurt early. I kind of wanted to see him against some live bullets, but he is hurt. Do you think with that, getting into, kind of when we're getting really into the X's and O's on how the Eagles can walk out of Brazil with a win, is this going to hurt the team more than we think?
Not having Jalen Hunt on game day?
Yeah, not having him on game day.
I wouldn't expect him to be active early, just due to the depth they have at the position. I mean, as far as Fangio is concerned, I mean, he likes the kid a lot. So
yeah,
that's the report. I mean, Vic likes the kid a lot. He's got a lot of upside. He needs reps. I just think it's one of those things where we're in the beginning of the season. There's a lot of roster tango to go. You can only carry so many guys. You can only have so many IR designations throughout the year,
Mm-hmm.
So I just think they're just kind of playing stuff by ear. I don't know much on his. They've been pretty hush hush as far as Jalen Hunt goes.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Wilson, I know, is a lingering concussion, and Goddard is said to be fine. But Jalen Hunt's we'll see. But I kind of figured him to be one of the inactives on game day, anyways.
Yeah. Okay.
They're going to play Nolan until Nolan tells them that he needs to be off the field.
That won't be long.
We'll see.
That's not going to be long. It's not going to be long. It's not going to be long. All right. So we got the injury report out. Let's get into it, man. Your Philadelphia Eagles versus the Green Bay Packers. Talk to me, bro. You're eye in the sky. What are the keys to winning this game going to Brazil? What do you think is give me your top 3 keys to winning this game?
I think it all comes down to offensive execution. I mean, they have got they don't have any reps together in game.
Nope.
It's a different stadium, different country. It's kind of a hectic situation. I think we're going to see some false starts. We're going to see maybe a pick or two from Jalen. I just think whatever happens after this week, I'm not for. Besides injury wise, I mean, barring injury, after this week, I'm not really forecasting any sort of future for them. I think the defense should show some promise, considering the fact that the Packers are they're a well-oiled machine. I mean, they're young.
They're balanced.
They're young, but they have continuity, and that's the biggest thing for them. So we're going to see a young team that's had a lot of reps together, coming on 2 summers in a row where they've just brought in talent through the draft, free agency. They've continued to add players. They outbid us on Xavier McKinney. They go get Josh Jacobs to match the Saquon Barkley move. So I mean, I think they've really got they've got a good team, and it's no question that, I mean, this game could go either way. I just think that overall, there's no other thing around just offensive execution. I mean, the defense can do their own. I think the young DBs are going to hold their own. I think Quinyon, who's going to play, he's getting the start next to Slay.
Is that what it is? Is it Ringo or him? In the depth chart, it says
so
Ringo.
Mitchell's going to play outside, I believe, in base, and then Rodgers will probably come in, and Mitchell will kick inside in nickel.
Okay.
So
yeah, depth chart, they had it on the site, on the website. They had Ringo as the
other. The depth chart is the biggest. They play so many games with that. They also had Devin White and Nakobe Dean both starting at middle linebacker.
Yeah.
That's their competitive advantage nonsense you just can't pay much attention to.
So you said first key to the game is offense.
I think
you think they need to start off fast?
They've got to hit this offense has to hit the ground running. It's too, like, you just took the car to the shop, you dropped it off. You know what I mean? You got a big bill on it. You got it out there. It's supposed to just take off like a rocket. There's no questions asked. I mean, there's just, I think there's too many questions that are going to come if they get off to a rocky start on offense.
And yeah, I mean, I think I kind of agree with that. I don't know if that would be my first one.
That's my number one point of concern.
Yeah, but I think that takes time. It's just going to take time. But I mean, should it take time? Because the two changes
not to play the starters for one drive for, again. Even though, like I told you, they've ramped up this offseason. They took more reps this offseason. The practices were longer, A lot of that came from Fangio. He wanted longer practices. He's old school.
Yeah.
It's different. So I just think the offense, and I'm not saying they have to go out and put up 40 points. They just cannot look helpless like they did at times last season.
Right.
They have to look like there are answers because the Packers are going to blitz the shit out of them. Every team is going to blitz the shit out of them to start off. That's what's going to happen. Expect it. NFL teams aren't stupid. These circles and rumors and headlines that go around, there's a reason. So they're going to blitz the shit out of us, and we have to have answers to that. And will Jalen accept those answers? I just think there's a lot of questions on that side. Defensively, man, Jalen Carter's going to go do work. It's Jordan Davis week 1. He's going to look great. He's coming off camp. He's going to be conditioned. He's going to look fantastic. BG's healthy. The defense, I'm not concerned until about week 12, week 13.
Really?
Middle linebacker play is the biggest question. The pass rush is a big question. But
I'm the other way, bro. Like number one for me, pressure, man. I've been talking about it for a long time. They have to be able to get pressure from their front. They have to be able to get pressure.
That's the amount of like draft capital, from the GM. Like, I'm expecting my defensive line to create pressure. I'm starting 2 first-round picks, based 2 top 13 picks, and a third-round pick. On the edge, we don't have Hassan Reddick. So I have questions about Huff. I have questions about Sweat, but you also have BG. You also have Nolan Smith. I think people are overestimating the snap count per player on the edge.
When you say overestimating, what do you mean?
The old Eagles rotated interior defensive line. What if we see Vic Fangio rotate the edge?
I think they will. They keep those boys fresh. It would make sense too.
That's what I'm saying. And he's known to play the absolute crap out of his interior defensive line. And Carter's going to play more snaps than he's ever played in his life.
Yeah, for sure. But he knows that he can't play Huff full go yet. In my opinion. Now, has he said that?
He can't play Sweat, though, either. He's got a half a knee.
I think he could play Sweat. I think Huff and Sweat will play the same amount of snaps. Can you play Sweat the whole game? I think he's proven that he can play the whole game because he started before. But I think you're right with the rotation of the pass rushers. They give him waves and waves and waves.
BG's going to play outside.
BJ's going to play more than what people think.
He's going to play edge and down lineman.
I think
Fangio said it today in a press conference that there is no snap count on Brandon Graham.
I believe
he wants to play football in his last year of football. He is going to empty the tank.
Yeah.
He's going to play. So,
and the funny thing is, from what I've heard from other beat writers and from other people who really watch the Eagles, is that BG looks actually decently fresh.
He's fine.
He looks like he's got more than a year left in him.
And this is, he's calling it. He said it. He said he wants to put his locker next to Kelsey's and do exactly what Kelsey is and start working in the, from the top down. And that's, I mean, there's nothing you could ask more of as a fan of a franchise is to have them start implementing the foundation of your first ever Super Bowl team into the front office and just let that trickle down. I mean, that's something different. But I agree that the question of the edge rushers is there. But I
think that's the number one key to this game, man. I don't understand. They're not going to win if they don't get pressure.
You're taking out the fact that we're going to see a lot of exotic blitzes. And the problem is some people hate when the term exotic blitz is used because, you pull a guy and send a guy. Maybe it's not a blitz. But Fangio is going to use his middle linebacker strengths. And every single backer we have, every single off-ball backer we have is a impressive blitzer. Devin White, Jacoby Dean, Jeremiah Trotter. We'll see what Oren Burks' role is. Ben Van Sumeren's very good at it. So I just think, we've got a Zach Bond, who is an edge rusher. He can play both spots. Well, they didn't use him much on the edge this summer, but,
Well, who do you have as your interior linebackers?
White and Dean should start. We'll see. Bond might
really?
start,
You think Dean is going to – White's going to start over Bond? Bond had a great preseason.
Bond did okay, but there's a like slight murmur that Dean is they're going to slip Dean.
Really?
Yeah. They'll probably play both.
Surprised.
I would expect all three to see reps, though.
Yeah, I'm surprised at that because I don't like. You know what? Dean is definitely a gamer.
They've got 6 off-ball linebackers, so that should tell you what they're going to do.
Yeah.
You're not using 4 guys on special teams.
You know, like Dean's a gamer. He just makes plays, and that's what I mean by gamer. Like Nakobe Dean he just makes plays. He doesn't seem or he doesn't look the bill, the bill or the fit of what you would consider your middle linebackers. Obviously, he's undersized. He unfortunately got hurt, even though he wasn't. I don't think he was really injury prone, right? He wasn't really injury prone. He just had bad luck.
Really injury prone. He had a couple. I think it was a shoulder or something.
And then his foot, right? It was like he had a bad.
Well, his injury his injury was the foot. He had injured both feet. He had never had that problem before.
Yeah, he had never had that problem before.
Or something.
Yeah,
back to back. Yeah, he got the weirdest.
And he just makes plays. He makes plays with turnovers.
Sorry, man. I mean, that's what it is. He's a hustle player.
Yeah, I'm not. He's not great in coverage, but he does enough.
I'd rather have Dean play than a guy in Zach Bond who Vic Fangio thinks can play, but he's never played a lick of.
I'd rather have Bond. I thought I saw
his entire carear, man.
I thought I saw some spark from Bond.
Bond, he's an edge rusher that you put. Imagine if we put Nolan Smith at off ball, you're going to see some plays. He's going to get a pick just because he's that quick. He's going to make a play. You know what I mean? And but he's in the right place at the right time. That's the side of it that's a little complicated.
Yeah. No. I mean, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, they don't really. I mean, the best thing we have is that we don't have Nick Morrow and Zach Cunningham trotting out as our starting linebackers this year. There's an actual.
Yeah.
There's a slight bit of hope. So. We'll see what Devin White can do, man. I mean, White's the biggest question mark. I mean, we know. I think we know who Dean is. Mm-hmm. Zach Bond is a prod. Like he's just a. We'll see. Vic thinks he can do it. So if Vic thinks he can do it, and some pro scouts think he can do it, then we'll see what he can do. Yeah. Trotter's a story. We'll see what he can develop into. Van Sumeren's a good UDFA pickup development player.
Yeah, he's 2 years away, in my opinion.
Oren Burks is a special teams ace. So, I mean, it's like kind of comes down to White. I mean, what is Devin White like? Are you going to be the highlight maker of a couple years ago, or are you going to be the guy that's in the wrong place at the wrong time just because you're trying to make a highlight? It's complicated with that position.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think I think you're talking about Devin White. It's just, can he get back to his prime? Can he? And he's 26. So it's tough to say get back to his prime.
I mean, the Bucs run was a little bit, I mean, he said it in that interview on.
But he had a couple good years. He had a couple good years with the Bucs. It wasn't just 1 year.
No, he was the 5th overall pick in the draft for a reason. I mean,
he was a dog out there.
That's the thing, and that's kind of floated along the roster and how this roster has been built. Another name is Mekhi Becton. I mean. We're going up with veteran coaches saying a guy can do something with Zach Bond, talk about a project. I mean, Jeff Stoutland's got his project of the year right there.
Man, if I could bet a holding penalty, I would on Becton.
I think he's going to get sat on his ass a couple times.
Oh yeah, I agree.
They're gonna. I mean, Kenny Clark maybe does it week 1. So
that front for Green Bay is.
They're switching from a 3-4 to a 4-3, so they're actually going to run. Van Ness will actually be a hand in the dirt defensive lineman along with Gary and Preston Smith.
Well, Preston Smith was a hand in the dirt. What, out in Minnesota?
He did. Preston Smith was. I
think it was Minnesota, right?
Washington, maybe. Where he was before Green Bay.
Where was he?
You're thinking of Zadarius Smith.
I thought they were both. Yeah, you're right.
Okay,
you're right. Yeah,
he was the one that went to.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Preston Smith, I think, was in Washington, maybe.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. You're right. It is Washington. I thought they both were in Minnesota at one point. And let's kind of keep digging here, man, with this offensive line matchup
Well, I mean,
versus
that's you're. This is another thing. Like going back to the offense, this is a question mark. Is this group? We talked about the shiny weapons, but let's talk about the core, man, the trenches.
yeah
What this franchise builds it on, and Jurgens is still a question at center. I mean, I get it. He was a second round pick, and he was, I personally think he's going to be a good player, but he's got to go do it, and he's got to stay healthy. He got hurt last year. Then we talk about Becton, man. I mean, what is Mekhi Becton going to be? Because Stoutland thinks the world of him. So, and if he suffers a major injury like he has before in his career, what's our answer to that? Is it plug and play Tyler Steen? Do we ask Trevor Keegan, who only saw left guard reps, to move over to right guard? I mean, what are we doing? We don't have that luxury of depth that we've had in years past. So it's I think it's the first time in years that we can really say, like, I need to see them tell me again that they're a top 5 offensive line.
I didn't even think about that. So let's, keys to winning. And one of the keys to winning I talked about was pressure. You talked about offensive continuity, and that is part of that is going to the offensive line. So I think obviously winning as old as time with football, and how do you win football games is winning up front. It's one of the easiest and oldest time ways of how can you dominate the line of scrimmage. So my question to you then is, if you could give an edge, where are you going here? Are you going Eagles or Packers in terms of the Eagles offensive line versus the Green Bay defensive line? Who you going? Who you give the edge to?
We're going with a first-year defensive coordinator first-year defensive coordinator for the Packers, and then a scheme change there, and we're going with some new plug-and-play guys. I'm still going to ride with Jeff Stoutland and the Eagles offensive line purely on the fact of the stars. Ilati, you don't have to worry about. Lane Johnson, you don't have to worry about. Dickerson, you don't have to worry about as long as he's on the field. So I just think that a lot of teams don't have 2 question marks on their offensive line. A lot of teams may have 3. And the fact that we only have 2 when, a lot of times we only have 1, it's a pretty big – it's still a question mark, but it's still a luxury.
And that's vice versa. The Packers offensive line versus the Eagles defensive line front.
Interior-wise, Jalen Carter should have himself a day. Carter should start the season off with a couple highlights. In theory, Davis should too. Milton Williams. On the edge, we'll see what Sweat and Huff are. There's no Bakhtiari or anything like that, but they've got a couple just good. Zach Tom, the right tackle, who's just he's came from the Saints. He's just starting to be just one of those just good starting offensive linemen. He's not great. He's not going to be a Pro Bowler. He's not all pro, but he's a starting offensive lineman. So it's the perfect test for your question of the pressure. They're not going up against top 5 offensive line. They're going up against an average offensive line. They're good, but they're not bad. So I want to see what they can do.
So as a prop, Sweat is right now for a sack plus 210. Huff is plus 135. I do not see Carter up as a betting prop. It might be somewhere else, but I was looking at ESPN bets, so that's where that is at right now. All right, so let's move on to the second key to winning, because I think we're kind of similar in our first key to winning. What would be your second key here to the Eagles going into Brazil, getting a win? What's your second key for them to win?
I mean, I guess I'm gonna go with the pass rush and just kind of see like as a whole, like does and I think the way I'm gonna say is will we finally see the pass rush married with the pass coverage like we did in 2022? So will we see the rush and coverage work seamlessly? Because last year that did not happen. It was very, very rough.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the head coaching. deal. LaFleur versus Sirianni. I think is a key is my second kind of key to winning, and just the coaching staff. Like you already alluded to earlier, there's a new defensive scheme for the Green Bay Packers and a new defensive coach there, and then we are very documented with us. Our coaching staff changes with Kellen Moore and Fangio over there from the offensive defensive staff. How do they all work together, right? Like how do they all kind of work?
I think you're talking about two premier franchises in the league,
for sure,
that tend to practice those little things heavily. So I'm not expecting any game day flukes on either side. I think that I think both staffs are going to be heavily ready and heavily prepared, and I think that we're going to see two aggressive coaches go at it. A lot of fourth and shorts. Best believe Brazil's Sao Paulo is going to see that touch push, baby, because it's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming.
For sure.
I think another thing, if you want me to, in my opinion, and this is something that I've, really been waiting to say, is just kind of the weight, in my opinion. I think that Jalen Hurts can really shut a lot of people up by going to another country week one and doing what he did in 2022. Like, I excuse my language, I want to see the motherfucking shrug, man. I want to see the, you know what I mean? Like, I need I need a performance or something like that, just to show the city, like, hey, man, I still got you. Because at the end of the day, he is the captain of the ship. And we can have the best coaching staff in the world. We can hire Bill Belichick, but that's not going to make Jalen Hurts a better quarterback on the field when the pass rush is in his head, when they send that zero blitz. So you can have the best receivers in the world, but he's got to get him the ball. You can have the best running back in the league. He's still got to find a way to get him the ball effectively. So I think that's one of my biggest keys is this guy. I don't care what you say about the coaching staff, because in the NFL, it starts at the top, and our ownership is premier. Our front office is premier. Our coaching staff on paper, okay, aside from any feelings you have about Nick Sirianni, his win percentage compared to most coaches in the league is ridiculous. So you pair that with Fangio, extremely successful defensive coordinator. Don't care about his status as a head coach. He's a DC. I'm grading him as a DC. Kellen Moore, highly effective offensive coordinator. You go look at the Packers. I mean, they're in the same situation. Like, they have the young love. They don't have a quarter. They don't have any head coach questions, but they've got all this young stuff and everything's fine. If we didn't have last year, we'd have the same thing going. If we went to the NFC Championship or whatever, like, the Sirianni Hurts questions wouldn't be there. Okay, the weight on Hurts' shoulders is enormous. It's enormous. This is exactly what Carson Wentz faced, and he will. Without injury, or they will put somebody behind him to compete, whether he likes it or not. So he's got to put his ego behind, and he needs to go put the league on notice.
Whew, that was a take.
I'm serious, man. It's just something that I just, I think the guy has it, and I've watched, same as you, and these fans have watched quarterbacks never get over the rocky hump. And it's like, you have the chance, man. You got the Lamborghini. You got the keys to the whichever Ferrari you want out there. I mean, they gave it to you. They gave him the money. There's no questions.
So, for me, I've never been a big Hurts fan. I was keeping it a beam. He isn't special. He doesn't do anything special for me.
You don't need to be special to win Super Bowl.
But he wins. See, that's where he won me over. He won me over two ways. He won me over. He won me over because they tried to. I felt they set him up to fail in the beginning around Doug. Like, they didn't give him no help. He had nobody.
They wanted to bury Doug and Carson. That was
That
was Doug versus Doug tried to manhandle Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie, and
he didn't do it. And so they tried to bury him, but then he just kept coming back. He kept showing up. He kept putting in the work, and then you started to see that translate on the field. But he just doesn't do anything. He's not like, he doesn't have special arm talent. His legs are obviously above average, but are they special like Mike Vick special? I wouldn't say that. Is he freakish in the gym? Yeah, but that's a worker to me, right? Like, you can get strong in the gym. That's Like some people do have natural strength, but you can build your strength over time
He's
too.
twitchy, but I wouldn't give him like he doesn't have Lamar type.
Nah, he's an athlete, and
he's
people.
just a physical dog. It's not like he doesn't have.
I hate to say this line, but it's a running back playing quarterback. It is.
It's an undersized Cam Newton, if you want me to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's a running back playing quarterback, but he's just a damn decent quarterback, and he's got a damn decent arm. It's not special. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. It's not Allen. It's not Barrow. It's not Herbert. It's not those upper echelon of guys who can make
6'1", 225 is never going to be that. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Compare him to a bunch of 6'5" white dudes who are just standing in the pocket throwing the ball. He can't be that guy, and his arm was never that guy. But what he did in that Super Bowl, man, is
special.
Was obnoxious. I mean, played under the lights like it was nothing. So I think that's the thing about the kid. Like you said, he's just a winner, and
he is.
I've grown to get sick of his Instagram quote lifestyle, and it's annoying. But like, you know what? If that's what it takes to get another Super Bowl, I'm fine with it, man.
Yeah, give me Broad Street all day. He's not
at the bar drinking until 3 a.m. Great. People aren't spot.
Give me Broad Street all day.
Like just a certain vibe. Just a man of the people. Like it's awesome, but it's like kind of like the Jordan stuff sometimes.
Yeah, I get it. So we talked about key one, right? And we kind of lean Eagles in the trenches. I would probably I'm on the other side of that. I probably would lean Packers. One, like you said, the continuity. There is a scheme change, but their defensive line is more proven, I think, than us. We just have one guy. Now, I look at Davis differently because Jordan Davis people expect Jordan Davis to be this pass rusher, and he's just not. He's not. He's a run stuffer, and he can collapse
Howie stood on his ego on his draft interview, his post presser from the draft that year, and I don't know who it was, but one of the beat writers simply asked, "You draft a DT at 13. Is he just a nose tackle or what is he?" And he tried to spin it off as, "Oh, well, at some point in his career, we expect him to be an elite pass rusher for this franchise." They didn't think they were getting Jalen Carter at that time. Okay. So he is not going to, his future is completely different. His ceiling is Dexter Lawrence. Okay. If he can be Dexter Lawrence, then that's the best thing in the world for us. So yeah. I think, his size, his explosiveness, his power in week one in an NFL season, I'm not worried about Big JD. There's going to be some stupid tweets of like Jordan Davis breakout season loading because he's going to take some young offensive lineman and he's going to grab them or two of them and just split them like children while his former teammate Jalen Carter has the other one and by one hand up in the air. I mean, that's the talent level that these kids are. My question mark for them is not till week 15, week 12, in that era. I mean, they're gonna ragdoll some of these guys on some plays. Bless you.
Thank you.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I think the Packers are going to have some highlights too. I mean, I think both these offensive lines have some questions. I just think the Packers they've got better linebackers. I think we have better corners, in all honesty. While Jair is extremely talented, there's nothing below him that has a lot of promise.
Ooh, I don't know. They got Stokes, right?
Dude, go look how many games played Eric Stokes has.
Stokes and McDuffie, I think. Is it Isaiah McDuffie over there? They got a decent secondary.
McKinney, Xavier McKinney is the new. That's the one.
McKinney, Xavier. You take their best two versus our best two. I think I give them the.
Slay,
I think I give that to Packers. Slay. Who would you rather have? Alexander McDuffie or Gardner and Slay? I gotta go with the Packers. I gotta go with Green Bay there. Come on now. Quentin gonna be a dog, but he ain't there yet. He ain't even stepped on the field yet in a real game yet. You got to give me guys that are proven.
I'm taking the Eagles secondary over the Packers secondary every day.
Oh wow, really? You going Eagles secondary? Nah, bro. Nah, dude, I got to go. I got to go Green Bay there.
Stokes doesn't play. Whoever the guy, if my stupid fucking computer would allow me to look at the Packers roster because it doesn't want to load right now, and it's about to send me through the moon. I would look at their list of players, but here we go. Javon Bullard's cool. Keyshawn Nixon's all right. They're gonna try to play Stokes, who I think is an inside player. They're gonna try to play him outside. Yeah, no. Isaiah McDuffie's their middle linebacker next to Quay Walker, but he's not going to start. I think Edrin Cooper is going to end up starting.
Yeah. So,
excuse me.
So, well, let's kind of talk about that. So, because I think that is the third key, is the skill positions versus so our skill positions on offense.
You want to compare silver ponies?
Yeah,
we're comparing.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
I like Christian Watson because he's obviously a spider chart guy. So I love Christian Watson, but I think that on paper it's
not close.
No, but they are. But I think NFL brass
not
across
close
the league,
on paper.
I think NFL brass across the league would agree that if you had to step into a position as a general manager, one of these two jobs, and we're talking about the offense only, defense is completely aside. You can't even see that part. You have to pick offense on offense. I think there are some guys that take a step back and go, and they're the Hurts question. They're the guys that have the question because I've already spent the money, But the love truthers, I think, could look at this roster and go, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, and Jaden Reed. That's not bad. And I got Dontavion Hicks. I got Bo Melton. My tight ends are Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft. I got Josh Jacobs. I mean, I'm pretty stoked at that team. They need to draft some more linemen, but they took Jordan Morgan in the first. He's moving from tackle to guard. We should win this game on paper, but I just think that there's the people within the NFL circle know that the Green Bay Packers are kind of scary. Now, will the fans, admit it? I don't know.
So what you taking? What you taking? Their offense or our offense?
Well, I take the Eagles' offense. I believe it's going to be
okay. That's what I thought.
It's going to, but I'm just saying they're
just making sure.
Well, there are, but you know what I mean. There are guys who I think would argue for the Packers and just be like, "Look, man, I go ahead and I got this. I've got some money to work with."
Yeah.
You got to think that we speak on continuity. They're just going to grow together. And you got kids on rookie contracts. Like, imagine if you had AJ, Devontae. These guys aren't that good. But I'm just saying, like, it's a built not bought kind of situation.
Here, I got one for you. Let me write it up.
Who's
quarterback
the best player
position
on the field once they step out there warming up?
Jalen Hurts or Jordan Love? You're the GM. Who are you starting with?
I'm going to take the winner. I'm going to go Jalen Hurts.
You going to go Jalen Hurts? All right.
I think that last year he did have a knee injury that we chose to not.
He does look quick.
Disclose. But if you go look at 2022 film versus 2023 film and then watch him in practice this year, his little twitch is back. And he's useless without that little bit of twitch. Otherwise, he is just a running back, just stumbling, bumbling, and fumbling, down the field.
Okay. Just asking. Just wanted to
I like Jordan Love. I'm a fan of Jordan Love. I'm a big fan. But I think at this point, I don't think we can question those two just yet.
Okay. All right. So we talked about multiple keys to the Eagles winning this game. Let's talk about a real prediction here, man. What you got? Eagles versus Packers. Who's winning the game?
I'm going to go with the Eagles. I'm going to say we're going to open up the season with a win. We're going to open up with a bang. And this is purely out of just fan faith. I'm going to go 31-17 Birds.
You said 31-17.
I think I get my Hurts statement game. I get a Sirianni pointing at some fans. I get one of these. Yeah, I think there's a chance we open up hot.
Yeah, I'm not too keen there myself.
I said fan faith. So I mean
Okay, well use your head. I want you to use your GM head.
dude, those answers are not fun. It's the over under is 48, 25, 23. Birds. You want to do that? You want to play that game? 25, 23 birds.
He said this is not a fun game.
That's not. I mean, use my GM head. 25, 23. What do you want to do?
I think the line's too high. That's from a betting conversation.
I really do. I like the under in this game. I do. I think that 48 and a half, at least per ESPN.
I like the over, honestly. I think it's being a lot of back and forth. Just because I think our offensive will be able to generate points, but I don't think our defense is going to be able to stop their offense.
It's interesting. I like it.
I mean? Like I think Green Bay is going to pick up the same momentum, right? They almost pretty much everybody's back. I mean, Jacobs is the only one. They have Marshawn Lloyd, I think, who's questionable.
Yeah, I don't know about. He's supposed to be coming back. There was something about that today that he is like progressing back.
But I fully expect that Jacobs is going to get the ball 20 to 25 times in this game because AJ Dillon's out, right?
In this game.
Yeah, in this game. But AJ Dillon's out, right? He's
out for the entire year.
He's out for the entire year, right? So it's going to be the Josh.
There's a video where you question me whether Marshawn Lloyd was more important to the Packers than AJ Dillon.
Probably. Well, I didn't think he was going to get hurt. Like he got hurt
Dillon.
for the year.
I know, but it's not even. He just his body's given up on him, which is sad because there was a couple years where he was just consistent as all get out. And then Lloyd gets hurt too, so that they don't have a lot of luck there. They got a UDFA kid they like though.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
come on, man, 25-23. Just tell me. Pick a team and go 25-23.
I'm trying to think who's on that team. Like do they even have any rookie starting for Green Bay?
A name that I glossed over earlier that I want to say they're big hitters on offense aside from Christian Watson and Josh Jacobs.
Morgan, the
Arizona tackle moving to guard. See how that goes. But I was gonna say Dontavion Wicks is a guy to watch. I don't know if he's available for anytime touchdown scorer, but he's a big hitter, deep ball threat. Jaden Reed's their gadget player. Christian Watson's obviously he's their number one. I think you're right. I think Jacob sees a lot of work in this game. The tight ends get more work than people are guessing.
Well, that's going to be our weak spot as always, as our linebackers and our tight ends. But I mean, I don't know. I mean,
middle of the field will be open against the Eagles defense. What a surprise.
Yeah, exactly. What's new?
Yeah,
you talking about your computer? I think my computer just froze. Am I still on camera?
Yeah, you're good.
I'm good.
You're on camera.
Interesting. I can't get back to the screen because I was messing around with the. Ooh, interesting. All right, we'll keep it running. I'll figure it out. Okay, so you have Eagles winning. Said 31-17. The fan boring you. Hurts goes off in this game and obviously puts the league on notice that the Eagles are for real. I think it'll be a lot.
Hurts going off game, just to specify, that could be like 250 yards passing, 50 yards rushing, a touchdown, then 2 touchdowns.
Right.
I just need to see him just to go look good.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, I don't think they win this game, man. I don't. I would bet Green Bay.
Down? What my soul tells me, Packers 25, Eagles 23.
Yeah, I think I think Green Bay. I think Green Bay wins this game. I think it's going to take time. I think people are really overlooking, and maybe they're not, and maybe they're just not saying it.
The one thing the Eagles don't have, and I can assure you that, is time.
Yeah,
they don't have
and I think that with the new offensive coordinator, with the new defensive coordinator, it's going to take time to understand how they want to play. Now, I think you're right. I think the offense is way in front of this defense. And I think the offense probably could start off fast and could start off hot just because they have the talent at the key positions that they need to be able to get over any scheme
I say
or
that I
any
have the
issues.
opposite feeling. I have more faith in the defense than I have in the offense.
Really? I
Yeah,
don't.
I
Yeah,
have
I don't.
100% more faith in the defense. We're
Yeah.
running in exactly the same scheme that we ran last year with new terminology and more like toy stuff,
Yeah,
like
no,
more gimmicks. Like that's not that hard to pick up. Like you play defense, like just all right, a couple more stunts, you know, like they're playing with stuff. Whereas on offense, it's a completely new scheme. Completely new scheme. I mean, we have been the lowest team in the league from pre-snap motion, shifting anything, and now we're supposed to be top 10. So
yeah, we'll see.
that's what I'm saying. It's going to be the offense has got to show a lot.
Yeah, we will see. Update on score. Just won my bet. Boston College is beating the shit out of Florida State right now, 21-6.
Good.
Total is still 47.5 with 12 minutes left in the third quarter. I don't know about that. And I wonder how long is it until they pull DJ Ugalele? Is that how you pronounce it?
I think it's like Uyangale, something like that.
Ugalele, yeah.
Alshon Jeffries.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long until he's still out there. But with that being said, I think we gave our keys to victory for the Philadelphia Eagles, what we want to see and what our true thoughts on that. Week 1 is, not just talking about the Eagles, even though we did a lot about the Eagles. Week 1 is obviously here. Any games to you that stick out that you're just like got circled on week 1 where you're like, it's a must-watch game, or any upset alerts you got, or a game that you want to talk about where this is a game like, hey, man, you need to circle this one because this one might not go the way you want. Or you think. I'm sorry.
I think outside of the Eagles, my biggest game that I'm excited to watch is what the heck goes down on Monday Night Football with the Jets and Niners. I'm really excited to see that. That's going to be a fun game. A lot of question marks around both franchises.
Yep.
I think team on upset alert, and I'm going to stand on business here. I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills. They're a 6-point favorite on the Arizona Cardinals at home. They don't have a lot of as many shiny toys on their roster as they did, and Arizona's got a Marvin Harrison Jr. that is poised for explosion. So I think we could see an upset there as far as any crazy stuff goes. I think the other game would be kind of they've got primetime pretty good this week. Dallas at Cleveland's a good game, as well as Los Angeles at Detroit.
Yeah, they're both a really good game. For sure. For me, upset alert. I don't know if Dallas beating Cleveland's an upset.
No, that's not really an upset.
I don't think. Maybe the Rams beating Detroit in Detroit could be. But I don't think so. I think all the lines, everything. I think the Houston and the Indianapolis Colts is an interesting thing. It's an interesting line. I think you were a big A-Rod 15.
Colts could pull that game off.
Yeah, AR 15 game, and the line is kind of hinting at that. So that might be a stay away game for me. But other than that, yeah, I don't think there's not Vikings and Giants are toss up. Kind of like the Falcons there. I think the Falcons kind of start off hot.
Falcons should beat the Steelers by well more than 3.
Yeah. And then, Thursday night game, man. You talking about a banger starting off with the
to start off the year, that's what I'm saying. The primetime games are about perfect. They've got these set up pretty great. How about the Eagles games the Eagles game exclusively broadcasted on Peacock?
Well, I see people talking about that, and I have Peacock, so it doesn't really kind of I guess affect me just because my son watches wrestling. So I have Peacock.
Saying that. I will be able to use your Peacock login for that night.
But I think with these streaming services, it's just so much money out there, and everybody's got their hand out, and everybody's got a blank check. And
It'll
NFL,
consolidate itself quickly enough.
yeah, NFL is open for business, and they're going to continue to do business. I mean, there's a reason why we're playing in Brazil. I think there's a couple other more international games too this year as well, in London and all kind of places over in Europe.
Germany and Mexico.
Yeah, so I don't,
The game is becoming global.
it is what it is, right? Yeah, it is what it is. We just saw not too long ago during the Olympics with Jalen Hurts doing a commercial for flag football and the conversation about flag football and if NFL players can actually play in flag and things like that. So, like you said, the game is getting international. So, to me, it's just like it's just part of the game. It's the part of the game that we're in. It's the part of the media game that we're in too, that we're seeing. And I don't really have no big thing about it. What I do think is crazy though is it $700 for like Sunday ticket or something for the Sunday ticket they have? Like that's insane to me. $700 just to watch football. Like, that's insane.
Don't remind me.
Like Peacock is what, $10, $11, $12? 700 to watch all the games? Yeah, y'all can keep that. I'll catch the game cast on ESPN for all that. Yeah, that's pretty crazy to me. That's way too much. But yeah, I don't really think too much into the whole streaming deal. I just think, hey, part of the game, baby. It's only one game. I don't know what other games they have. Is Amazon still have the was it the Thursday games, right? It was Amazon's thing, right? Amazon Prime?
I don't know, because NBC Peacock is the Thursday for Ravens Kansas City, so I don't know.
I mean, it's gonna be a hell of a game, man. Before we get out of here, and I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna quit everything and I'm gonna jump right back into the stream. But I want to ask you before I go, and you can it'll focus on you. Who you have in the Ravens Chiefs game for Thursday Night Football, and why do you like that team?
I have a total coin flip on that game, man. I have no idea. Week one, anything could happen with those two. I think it's gonna be a good game. I mean, I think Mahomes versus Jackson, must see TV. Obviously, the history would tell us that Mahomes is going to come out on top and they're going to win the game. So it is what it is. I think that week one is always full of surprises. That's why I wanted to have the Cardinals upsetting the Bills. Just what could happen. Teams have so long to prepare for week one. It's a grind in the off season. They always are the most. This is the one game of the year they are more prepared for than anyone. So expect a lot of surprises. Week one does not dictate the future of any team. Barring injury, obviously you lose your quarterback or something along the lines of that, you're done. But speaking on the rest of it, I mean, it's just kind of a general. I think that week one's just full of a bunch of fun. There's a lot of highlights that go around. A lot of bold predictions are made. A lot of people jump to conclusions, but we'll see how it goes.
So I missed it all. I missed everything you said. Who'd you have?
I just said it's a toss-up game. I said I'm going to go with the Chiefs just based on the history. But I was just like, just kind of explaining how week one just doesn't necessarily dictate anybody's future. I mean, it's the one game of the year that the teams have more time to prepare for than any other game. So it's kind of just a toss-up week.
So how I look at games, I usually obviously because I'm a gambler and I better money pot betting. I think that the Ravens have a lot to prove in this game to themselves. And I think the Chiefs is really true about Super Bowl hangovers. That's really true. I don't think the Chiefs will get their footing. They've just been here so many times. They know how to win. They know when to turn it on and when not to turn it on. A lot of things happening, right? The rings, more people doing other stuff, distractions. Can they win 3? all kinds of stuff. I would lean here the Ravens with the points with the 3+. I mean, the line's perfect. It's tough to win an Arrowhead. I don't know what the weather or anything is like. I expect it to be fine. But I like the Ravens here with the points. I just think this is a Super Bowl game for them, right? They're going to want to win this game, set the tone for their full year. Because if they lose this game, it kind of almost makes a step back, like we're still not there yet, right? Because Kansas City doesn't win or lose, they're still the champ. It don't really matter. But the Ravens, they need to win this game to set the tone for their season and where they want to go moving forward into the year, because they got a hell of a schedule here. At Chiefs, then home for Raiders, at Cowboys, home for Bills, and at Cincy. So you play Cincinnati, the Bills, the Cowboys, and the Chiefs in your first 5 games. That's a tough schedule. And then the rest of the schedule kind of is a little bit better, but you can't lose to the Chiefs, then beat the Raiders. At Dallas, maybe a tough game. Maybe 3-2 coming out the gate out of the 5 games that I'm looking. You could lose to the Chiefs, and you might lose one of the 4 at Bengals, Bills, or Cowboys. Hoping to go 2-1 out of those 3. So when I look at this, the Ravens got to win this game against the Chiefs. So I typically don't bet Thursday night games. Just not my style. I haven't done well in them, but I would take the Ravens with the points here, even by the hook at the 3. It's at 3 right now, which it should be. I would buy the hook. These games are always great. Those games, the Ravens versus Chiefs games are always great.
4-1 Mahomes.
4-1 Mahomes. That makes sense. I mean, he's got a great record against probably everybody.
His passer rating's like 115 and Lamar's like 78. It's bad.
Yeah. I haven't looked at those teams yet. Like I said, Thursday games I typically lay off, but Baltimore needs this game more than anything. So, with that being said, all the keys to the games, to the Green Bay and Eagles game, we went through.
Let's just get out alive.
Ernie B's fandom says Eagles win. My playerism says Green Bay might pull out of a win here. I kind of like the Packers in this game. I think it'll be a tough game for the Eagles to win here. So, we talked about the keys of the game. We talked about all the games that are going on this week. So I think we're good there. Thanks for everybody who joined. I saw a lot of people come in and out. So leave a comment, though, right? Let me know you're here. I know you're watching. Let me know you're here.
We're ready for it.
Yeah, man. For Bird's Eye View, we will finish off with the video of Slade talking about why the hell he don't want to go to Brazil. Enjoy. And we will see you guys next week.
I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. But, man, I do not want to go to Brazil. You want to know why? I'm here to tell you why. They already told us not to leave the hotel. They told us we can't do too much going on because the crime rate is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, NFL, why y'all want to send us somewhere with the crime rate this high and like we out the country? So, the first thing people think is like something terrible can possibly happen. I told my family, do not come down there because, I'm not going to be nowhere to be found. Really, I'm going to be in a hotel chilling, minding my business, playing my game after a long 9.5-hour flight. So I don't have no intentions on doing that. I'm going to eat hotel food. I'm doing everything. But they said, yeah, man, it's going to be pretty crazy down there. The police said they're going to be, try to be the best they could possibly be with the top flight security of the world, Craig. You know what I'm saying? So we hope for that, man. But I do go